I want to talk to you about creating new beliefs and understanding the role and place that beliefs play in our life. Beliefs are the building blocks and the models of our reality. They are our basic foundation. They influence us and affect us in ways that we seldom even recognize. They vibrate within us day and night on a subconscious level, attracting to us the circumstances and situations that we resonate within. All beliefs happen on a subconscious level. Now, hopes, desires, wishes, goals, intentions, these are all on a conscious level, and we think them with our conscious mind. But beliefs are different. They are deeper. They live within the subconscious. And we all have beliefs. We could no more be without beliefs than our body could be without bones. They are part of who and what we are. And there is no area of our life where we don't have a set of beliefs and assumptions. We have them about every aspect of our life. We have them about our earning capacity. For example, everybody that's listening to the CD right now, all of you have a concept of what it is that you can earn this year. It might not be an exact figure, it's an approximation, and yet you have a belief on what it is that you can earn this year. You have beliefs about your sexuality. You have beliefs about the state of your health. You have beliefs about the opportunities that exist for you in life, or lack of opportunities. And if your beliefs are faulty or limiting in any area of your life, then that is exactly like a faulty program in a computer. And what will happen is that this program will play over and over again inside you. And it will limit you. It will distract you. It will create circumstances and situations in your life that match the images that you have within. So knowing and understanding this incredible power that beliefs play, we begin to be very observant. We begin to become very concerned. We become very diligent. We become very conscious of what it is that we're believing. And beliefs can take hold within us in a very subtle way. For example, let's say that you have broken up from a marriage, and it's been a very messy marriage, and you're really upset at your husband, and you come out of this experience with the belief that men are bastards. And that's what you believe. Now, what happens is by having this belief, that takes hold inside you, and it creates your experiences. Not only that, but you can join groups with other women who all agree that men are bastards, which just reinforces, of course, the illusion. And I say illusion because it's no more real or not real than you believe. So from this unhappy experience, you take on a belief that men are bastards. And as a result of having this belief, you think about it all the time. That becomes your vibration. That becomes your resonance. And having this belief, what kind of men do you think that you are now going to attract to you? Do you really think that you're going to attract a high-quality person with the belief that men are bastards? Now, what happens in our life is that we have accepted all kinds of limiting beliefs about ourselves, about our society, about our reality. And what we want to do is we want to move beyond the perceptions and not ask ourselves, are these beliefs real or not? but ask ourselves, do these beliefs serve us? For example, you might have the belief that it's hard to make a lot of money. Now, is that belief true or not? Well, it's true for you. If you have that belief, nobody intentionally has a belief that's faulty. We assume that all our beliefs are true. And of course, beliefs vibrating in the subconscious level attract to the matrix of our reality the exact circumstances and situations that we are projecting. Now, notice I say your beliefs. I'm not saying your hopes. I'm not saying your desires, your wishes, your intentions, your goals. I'm not saying that these will be self-fulfilling. I'm saying that your beliefs will be self-fulfilling because they are entrenched in a subconscious level. So one person believes that it's really easy to make a lot of money. Another person believes that it's really difficult to make a lot of money. Who's right? Which belief is right? Well, actually, both of them are right. Well, you might say, how can both of them be right? I mean, one must be right, one must be wrong, or at least one must be more right than the other. No, not at all. Not at all. You see, what it is that our life is holographic. We are all experiencing a holographic reality, a projection that is happening to us because of the vibration of what we are. Let me show you what happens when someone radically changes their belief. There was a very famous French dress designer who had a belief that she could design a completely new creation in 1 hour. Now, I don't know how many of you that are listening are dress designers or know dress designers, but I think you can understand that to design a completely new creation in 1 hour is quite a feat. But she could do it because she believed that she could do it, and she did it regularly and consistently. Now, one time, the psychologists that were working with her decided to do a little experiment with her. And they said, now, you say that you can design a dress in 1 hour. Is that correct? And she said, yes, I can. And what they did is they put her under hypnosis. And they had a little meter that was ticking every second. Tick, 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 tick. And they said, can you hear that meter ticking? Yes, I can. Okay, every time that you hear that meter ticking, that's 1 minute. Do you understand that? Yes, I do. Okay, begin designing. Tick, 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 tick. And after 3 or 4 ticks, which was really only 3 or 4 seconds, but in her mind was 3 or 4 minutes, she began to furiously scribble down on her pad of paper. And at the end of 60 seconds, at the end of 60 ticks, she had a completely new design dress that was produced into the thousands and sold all over the world. Now, notice that 1 second didn't magically become 1 minute. 1 second was still 1 second. What changed was her perception of reality. And when her model of reality, her belief in reality, her perception of reality changed, that changed her entire reality. And suddenly, she was able to produce a dress in 1 minute, design a dress in 1 minute instead of 1 hour. Beliefs are so powerful, and you get to believe whatever you choose. It has absolutely nothing to do with outer reality. It has to do what you choose to believe in your consciousness. For the longest time, the strongest man in the world was a man called Sergei Vataček, a Russian. And Mr. Vataček could lift 598 pounds over his head, but he couldn't lift 600 pounds. And he had tried many times, and every time he had failed. In fact, it was called the 600-pound barrier. They had medical journals in the various weightlifting magazines. They had articles by physiotherapists and doctors and trainers saying how the physical body is impossible. It cannot lift 600 pounds. And he tried many, many times. Always he failed. And then one time, his trainers played a little trick on him. They put 601 pounds on the bar, and they told him it was 598. Now, you might think to yourself, 598, 601, I mean, what's the difference? Well, the difference is in consciousness. And if you look closely at all areas of your life, all your limitations, all your successes, all the things that happen to you, the difference always is in consciousness. Nothing to do with the outer world. And so what happened is Sergei got down, he picked up the bar, he put it up over his head. And as soon as he had lifted the bar, his trainers started leaping up and down, and they said, Sergei, do you realize what you've just done? You've just broken the 600-pound barrier. And he goes, what are you talking about? It's impossible. Nobody can do it. And they weighed the bar, and sure enough, it was 601 pounds. He began touring Europe. He was like a huge celebrity for about 3 weeks. And then you know what started happening? Other people started lifting 603, 605, 607, because the 600-pound barrier had been broken. It was an illusion. It had never existed except in people's consciousness. And now they're close to lifting 700 pounds. The question I want to ask you right now at this point of your training is, what are your 600-pound barriers in your life? What are the areas in your life that are keeping you really stuck and confining in who and what you are? Where are your belief system barriers? And you might say, well, I don't have any belief system barriers. I'm living my life to its full potential right now. If you truly believe that, if you truly believe that you have no belief system barriers, what that means is that you've bought into your own limitations. Don't accept what's happening right now in your life as the true measure of who and what you are. You haven't even begun to experience the true greatness that is in you. You can be assured there are all kinds of belief system barriers that you're living with. And I'll give you a little secret on how to begin to find them. Look at any problem area of your life. Any area of your life where you're having problems and difficulties. And I can guarantee you, 100%, I can guarantee you, that you have belief system barriers in that area of your life. And that's why you're having problems and difficulties. Nothing to do with outer circumstances. That is an illusion. Everything to do with your beliefs. Everything to do with your consciousness. You see, if you want to move ahead really powerfully in your life, you're going to have to learn how to do two things. The first thing that you're going to have to learn how to do is to discover and eliminate any negative, limited belief pattern that you have resonating within you. Because as long as you're trying hard to get ahead, trying hard to cure yourself of your illness, trying hard to have a good relationship, trying hard to achieve your goal, and working with faulty, limited beliefs, you're not going to achieve it. You're going to have the same patterns happen to you over and over again. Oh, different circumstances, different realities, but you're going to remain stuck. You have to discover and eliminate the negative beliefs that you have within you. That's the first thing. And then the second thing that you have to do is you have to infuse yourself with images and creations and visualizations and affirmations, as I've taught in this course. Infuse yourself with these images, living them as an already existing fact in the ways that I've taught you. You see, one of the most beautiful things about our life is that our subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between what is real and what is imagined. The aspect of the subconscious that works on manifesting cannot tell the difference. And what that means is that you can go inside your conscious mind by repeating over and over again messages, images. You can create whatever belief it is that you choose. You choose what it is that you believe in. The student of mind powers wakes up to the fact that he or she has the ability of creating whatever beliefs they choose. And the way that you create beliefs is working with a technique called imprinting. I first discovered the method of imprinting when I was living in the woods. And I wanted to imprint into my consciousness that I have unlimited power at my disposal. And how I did it is the imprinting technique is a combination of affirmations and contemplation. Those are the two techniques that you use in imprinting. So what I did is each day for 5 minutes, I would contemplate and affirm to myself that I have unlimited power at my disposal. I would affirm I have unlimited power at my disposal. I have unlimited power at my disposal. I would keep affirming it to myself over and over again for a minute or two. And then I would shift into contemplation. And I would contemplate that I have unlimited power at my disposal. I would think about the fact about how the conscious and subconscious mind work together. I would think about the fact that any thought that is put into the subconscious and resonates there will attract from the outer world, from the outer matrix of my reality, the exact conditions and circumstances that I want. And I would contemplate that. I would think about that. And I would affirm it to myself over and over and over again. And I would do it for about 5 minutes every day. Now, sometimes when I did this exercise, I would come out after doing the exercise and I would feel really inspired, really enthused. And it would be, yes, that's right. I know that's true. Sometimes when I did it, I would come out just feeling so fabulous. Other times when I did it, it would be almost cold and mechanical. It would be like I was lying to myself, and I didn't really believe it. Sometimes when I would do it, it would just be like I was going through the motions. And then the great trickster would start working on me. And it would say, what? Unlimited power? What are you talking about? Look at your life. You don't have unlimited power. And so sometimes when I did it, it was very cold, very mechanical, didn't even seem to be working. Other times, I felt absolutely so powerful and so inspired by the process. But the key is I did it each and every day. I did it whether I wanted to or not. I committed to the process. I knew the power of repetition. I knew that in order to reach my subconscious, it would have to be done regularly. And so I forced myself to do it. I was determined to do it. I was committed to do it. I set my intention to do it. And I never let a day go by where I didn't do this 5-minute process. And then I'll never forget, it was somewhere between 60 and 90 days after doing this every day that I woke up one evening, and I woke up with the flaming reality that I have unlimited power at my disposal. And I knew it. I owned it. It was mine. It had become a permanent imprint into my consciousness. Now, we've all used imprinting in our life. For example, our language has been imprinted. If you remember how you learned the language, it was through constant repetitions of certain words. Here's the butter. Please pass Daddy the butter. Don't put the butter in your hair. And through constant repetition of the word butter, and you mispronouncing it at first, Bubba, I want the Bubba. And gradually, no, not Bubba, it's butter. And gradually, over hundreds of times of repeating it, you learned the word butter. And then you learned that this other thing on your foot is a shoe, and that the thing you wear is pants and shirts. And the English language has been imprinted into your consciousness through numerous repetitions of each word. And now you know that language. And that's why I can speak to you now. And you understand the principles that I'm teaching, is because we have this agreement and we have this commonality of the English language. So the English language has been imprinted into your consciousness. Another thing that has been imprinted into your consciousness is the multiplication table. The multiplication table is imprinted. For example, if I say to you, what's 7 times 7? Instantly, you know it's 49. When I say, what's 7 times 10? Instantly, you know it's 70. I mean, you know this even faster than you can punch into a calculator. What's 6 times 6? Instantly, you know that it's 36. Now, how do you know this? Well, if you remember, when you were a child, 1 times 6 is 6. 2 times 6 is 12. 3 times 6 is 18. 4 times 6 is 21. Whoops! Great big red circle around that. Oh, it's not 21. And then maybe you have to write out a dozen times. 4 times 6 is 24. 4 times 6 is 24. 4 times 6 is 24. And gradually, what happens is the multiplication table becomes imprinted. What's 9 times 9? Instantly, you know it's 81. What's 13 times 8? Well, they only taught us to 12. Nobody thought to teach us more than that. But it has been imprinted. So both our language has been imprinted and the multiplication table has been imprinted. Now, the final thing that you need to imprint into your consciousness is the new inspired truth of your reality. In order to imprint something into your subconscious, it has to be repeated again and again. There is an incubation period that is necessary. It's a lot like planting a seed. You plant a seed below the ground, and you tend it, and you nourish it. The same thing with the subconscious. Whatever belief that you want to have happen to you, you must tend it and nourish it and imprint it over and over again. Doing this once or twice is going to have no effect. Even doing it 6 or 10 times is going to have no effect. Mind powers is not positive thinking. It's a practice. And if you're not prepared to work regularly, go back to positive thinking. There's nothing wrong with positive thinking, but it's not mind powers. And you certainly won't be able to imprint in the subconscious simply by positive thinking. You have to have a commitment and a will. You have to have the vision of what this will do for you. Imagine being able to reprogram your subconscious. Imagine what you can do when you awaken to this reality and you begin practicing it regularly, consistently, letting nothing stop you. That's when you're going to see the real success. And we get to program and imprint into our subconscious whatever we choose. My good friend, the late medicine man Sun Bear, had a saying, and he said that every medicine man, every medicine woman is only as good as their belief in themselves. And that's true. And let me just paraphrase that slightly. Your life is only as good as the beliefs that you have. Understand very deeply that your beliefs are your personal laws. And your personal laws create your holographic experience. Every person creates their own laws and has their own reality. Each of us is living a different reality. Your laws are not my laws, and my laws are not your laws. Each of our lives is much more magical and mysterious than we have ever been led to believe before. We are the creator of the circumstances and situations that happen to us. We're it. It all has to do with what is your personal model of reality. What is reality? You know, when I ask this question, what is reality? It reminds me of the parable of the 3 blind men. The first blind man comes up to the elephant and he gets a hold of the leg and he feels it. And he says, "Oh, an elephant is like a tree trunk. I understand." And the second blind man comes over to the elephant and he gets a hold of the trunk and he feels it. And he says, "No, you're wrong. An elephant is like a fire hose." And the third blind man comes up to the elephant and he feels the ear. And he says, "Both of you are wrong. An elephant is like a thick piece of leather." Now, which of the blind men were right? Well, they were all right. But how can they all be right? Well, they were all right because they had different perceptions of the elephant. And it's exactly like that. If you can truly get that your life and your reality has nothing to do with what's real or not, and everything to do with what your perceptions of reality are. You see, I had an amazing revelation a number of years ago, and it takes a great amount of wisdom and insight to get to this revelation. And the revelation was that I don't have a clue what's going on in life. I don't know what ultimate reality is. The reason that I don't know what ultimate reality is is because of the holographic nature of thoughts and beliefs creating reality. That your reality will always match the models that you have within. Your vibrating matrix of your experiences will always bring to you the people, the circumstances, the events, the synchronicity that matches the vibration and resonance of within. Again, not your hopes, not your desires, not your wishes, but your beliefs that are resonating within inside you day and night. Your beliefs are so powerful. And the beautiful thing about it is you get to create whatever beliefs you choose. Get out of your mind what is real. It has nothing to do with what is real. Put into your mind only this one thing. Do my beliefs empower me or not? Are these beliefs working for me in a positive way, or are they hindering me? Don't ask yourself if they're real, because none of us knows what is real. Ask yourself only, are these beliefs serving me? In the second lecture, I made a statement, know thyself. Know and understand your potential, your capacity, your ability to manifest. Know and understand that you are the creator of the things that happen to you. Knowing ourselves very deeply is the key to having a successful life. And in knowing ourselves, we have to also know and understand the beliefs that we have resonating within us. Know and understand what is vibrating inside you at a subconscious level. This is the fundamental resonance of who you are. It is your vibration. It is your foundation. It is the cause of what is happening to you. Now, how do we do this? How do we know and understand what is resonating inside us? Well, first, we have to have a desire to know it. We have to be interested. We have to understand that as mind power students, everything that we think, both consciously and subconsciously, is having an effect in our life. And with this desire to know ourselves very deeply, we begin to observe ourselves. And observing ourselves, we look at our life and what is happening to us, both without, in the outer world of reality, and within. We look at our life without judgment because we want to know ourselves deeply. And when we look within, one of the things that we're confronted with immediately is the great trickster. Now, you have been working with the great trickster over these last number of weeks. Nobody can be doing mind powers regularly and consistently without knowing about the great trickster. But what is often not realized is that what the great trickster is an aspect of our subconscious mind. Now, I've said that there are two main functions of the subconscious. The one function is to give us guidance and insight, to allow us to receive from higher levels of awareness, insights, truth, guidance. And the other aspect of the subconscious is in manifestation, that we can go into our subconscious and imprint any thought, any idea, any belief that we wish to have resonating inside us. Now, what has happened in our life is that our subconscious is like a storage room in the basement, stuffed with all types of things that we've forgotten about. Poet Robert Bly called it the long black bag that we carry around within us. It is the shadow. Hurts, failures, disappointments, paths not taken, shame, and a host of other undesirable phenomena all reside within. And so what the great trickster does is it feeds us these little thoughts, often without us even realizing that we're hearing them. You're not going to get ahead. You're never going to have a good relationship. You're not going to heal yourself. And in knowing ourselves, what we understand is these are quite often reflections of old beliefs that are just vibrating inside us. It's time for a spring cleaning. It's time to look within and remove these old beliefs to counteract the effect that they're having on us. So we look within at the great trickster. We also look at the problem areas of our life. And quite often what will happen to us in our life is you will find many areas of your life are working well, and then there might be one or two areas that are not working so well. We have relationships. We have our career. We have our financial objectives. We have our health. We have our spirituality. We have our love. We have our self-appreciation or self-criticism. And in all aspects of our life, it is a reflection of us. It is a reflection of what is going on inside us. And having worked with people now for 30 years, working with mind powers, I can tell you absolutely, in any area of your life where you're having problems and difficulties, you can be assured that this has to do with having a negative belief on that aspect of your life. And this negative belief, resonating on a subconscious level, can be sabotaging your success. The other area to observe is reoccurring patterns. Any time that you have reoccurring patterns in your life, this is almost always, again, reflections of something within the subconscious. Life is a reflection of you. Life is a perfect reflection of you. So if you're having reoccurring patterns in any area of your life, then you can be assured it is a reflection of something within your subconscious. Let me share with you a story about what happened to me many years ago. I had a reoccurring pattern in my life. And what that reoccurring pattern was is that I would be in a relationship with a woman. Everything would be going great. It would be fabulous. And then I would end up leaving that relationship. Now, I don't want to give the illusion that I left every single relationship. Sometimes I was left as well. But in 90% of the times, I was the one that did the leaving. And this was very puzzling to me because I would leave not when the relationship was bad, I would leave when it was good. And I couldn't figure out at all why that was happening. And on working with my subconscious, what happened is that one day what popped into my mind is that my mother didn't leave me because I wasn't good enough. You see, my mother drowned when I was 13, and it was a very traumatic event, as you can imagine. And I dealt with it the best that I could, and I didn't really think there was any lasting effect in my life. And yet here I was in my mid-40s, and what had come up to the conscious level of my mind is that my mother didn't leave me because I wasn't good enough. Well, of course she didn't leave me because I wasn't good enough. She drowned. But somehow my subconscious mind had interpreted that event as my mother leaving me. And so what I had acted out in my life is I was so hurt by my mother leaving me, dying, that I had made a decision on a subconscious level that I would never be hurt again by a woman. And so in order to never be hurt again by a woman, when I got too intimate, when my relationships were good, then rather than get left or the chance of being left, I would do the leaving. And it wasn't until consciously I realized what was in my subconscious mind that I was able to change that pattern. So any time that you have reoccurring patterns in your life, you can strongly suspect that there are subconscious forces at work. And as you begin to pursue and look into it, you will definitely find it, because your subconscious mind will always reveal its agenda if you approach it with honesty and sincerity. Beliefs are not necessarily real or logical. I mean, it was not logical for my subconscious mind to interpret my mother drowning as her leaving me because I'm not good enough. And that's important to know. It's not real or logical. These beliefs that we have within us, they just are. And they are vortexes of energy, very powerful energy vibrating within us. Law number 1 says that thoughts are real forces. Well, beliefs are entrenched thoughts. Beliefs are more powerful than thoughts because they have a permanent structure in the inner world. They vibrate within a fixed pattern. They work day and night. They do not sleep and remain dormant. They are always at work in our life. And this is both good and bad. It's bad when they are negative beliefs and we are unconscious of them, but they're good because we can create in our subconscious any belief that we choose, working with the imprinting technique. And how you counteract a negative belief is by understanding that we can have two beliefs at the same time. You can have contrary beliefs, and what you do is you make a new belief, an empowering belief, to counteract the negative belief. And when you use these new beliefs, it's like creating grooves in your consciousness. And that's exactly what you're doing with mind powers. A new belief is like creating a new groove. And the more it is repeated, the more it is contemplated, the more it is thought about, it reinforces that groove. And so what happens is that the old belief never completely disappears. It still remains in the subconscious, but it fades away as you begin to stimulate the new belief, as you begin to reinforce the new belief, as you begin to empower the new belief, then that becomes the new groove that you begin thinking about. And the ultimate challenge and opportunity in our lives is this ability to imprint new beliefs into our subconscious, new models of reality that reflect our visions of what we choose to be and become. Sometimes we do it consciously, sometimes it just happens. I have to share with you a story of how I imprinted a new belief of being very lucky in my life. And it happened without me even realizing at first it was happening. I share a sailboat. I'm partner in a sailboat with a good friend of mine, Jim. And quite often we'll go out sailing together. And whenever we go out sailing together and we get good weather, we got into the habit of saying, just our luck. Now, here in the Pacific Northwest, here in Vancouver, with the mountains and the ocean, the weather can be quite unsettling and it can change quite radically. But whenever we went out, we undoubtedly had good weather, and every time we had good weather, we would say to ourselves, just our luck. And it was kind of in a joking way. Now, interestingly enough, that expression, just my luck, is almost always used in the negative. I mean, think about it. When people say, just my luck, they say it when something bad happens to them. So the opportunity to say it when something good happens to you was fun. It felt kind of different. And so what I did is I carried over with this. And besides saying it every time we were out in the boat and had good weather, I found myself getting into the habit of saying it every time something good happened to me. Something good and unusual happens to me, I would say to myself, just my luck. And over a period of a number of months, what I found is that this took an imprint into my subconscious. So I began to believe, absolutely, that I was a very lucky person. And of course, once I believed it, once it was resonating within me constantly, that attracted to me fortuitous events. And I found that lucky things were happening to me all the time because it had become imprinted. It was part of my model of reality. Now, each of us has our own model of reality. Each of us has our own beliefs that resonate within us day and night. No two people are the same. Our beliefs, our vibrations are as different from one another as our fingerprints and our faces. We are all vibrating with different beliefs, different laws, and as a result, we are all attracting to ourselves different realities. I'd like to share with you a partial glimpse of my model of reality, John Kehoe's model of reality. And I say a partial glimpse because I couldn't show you the entire thing even if I wanted to. We're not even aware of our total model of reality. But I can share with you some of the beliefs that I have consciously created within my subconscious mind, that I have worked at creating in my subconscious mind. And the first one is that my subconscious mind is my partner in success. And I love that one. I love saying that one to myself over and over again. My subconscious mind, by saying that, I am reaffirming to myself over and over again that I do indeed have a subconscious mind, is my partner. It's a partner in success. And I believe that. You see, I believe that so deeply that whenever I need something in my life, whenever I have a goal in my life, whenever I need some insights or guidance in my life, I know absolutely that my subconscious mind will help me. Why? Because it's not a hope. It's a belief. I have unlimited power at my disposal. Now, I have just shared with you how I imprinted that into my consciousness. And I'll tell you, having this belief gives me an immense amount of confidence. And I think confidence is very important. Not arrogance, not being puffed up thinking you're better than anyone else, But being able to execute and push through your agenda is important. To act on your vision with clarity and decision and determination, knowing, not hoping, knowing that you have unlimited power at your disposal gives you such an advantage. And you can have that advantage if you imprint this belief into your subconscious. Another one of my beliefs is that my success helps many people. My failure helps no one. And by having this belief, it gives you motivation and determination to be successful. And I'm not talking about success just as something monetary or material. I'm talking about all aspects of success. I'm talking about success at raising your children well, success at being generous and compassionate, success at finding your calling, success at awakening your full potential. I also have a belief that I attract people and circumstances that help me achieve my goals. That in this vibrating matrix, that every thought and every belief vibrates and attracts from the outer world circumstances and situations. That synchronicity is real. That as I vibrate, that people and circumstances will come to me, then that's exactly what happens. I believe that opportunities are everywhere, in every aspect of my life. And I believe that. Is it true? Well, it's true for me. And it's true for me because it is resonating inside me day and night. It is my vibration. It is that reality that the vibrating matrix brings things to me. Your model of reality is your signature. It is your vibration. It is who and what you are. It is more who you are than your face and your physical body. It is the true essence of what you are. And the beautiful, visionary understanding that the student of Mind Powers awakens to is that he or she gets to create their life in the exact way that they choose. Nobody can tell you how to live your life. You and you alone will make the decisions, will create the beliefs, will think the thoughts that the vibrating matrix of outer reality will react to. And creating with mind powers is a lot like being an artist. In fact, living your life is the greatest art of all. And each creates our life in our own way. Most people are unconscious when they create their life. Most people think that life just happens to them with no meaning. But not the student of mind power. The student of mind power wakes up and seizes his or her life and lives it with vigor, with vision, with excitement, with creativity. Your past record of success or failure is of absolutely no concern because all things are new with these powers.